you need a two set. Each one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of 2-inch squares. Okay, each one is 2-inch squared. Same thing to your color wheel part. Okay, and you need 7, and you need 2 sets of those. Okay, and each one you should give a top as white, bottom as black. Okay. All right. Top as white, bottom as black. Okay. So you'll be envisioning something like this. This is value scale of red. This is value scale of green, yellow, blue, violet. Okay. You can do any hue you want. You have, how many hues you have in your color wheel? You have 12 hues, right, on your color wheel, right? So this one has 12 hues. So you can do any of these for value scale. But probably it's wise to choose something you don't have to mix ink paint each time. So maybe easy to choose something like a yellow because you have a pure yellow from straight out of a tube. You have green from out of, you have a green paint from tube, right? You have probably blue out of tube, and so as red and violet, okay? So you can do any hue. You could be doing yellow, green, or like a blue, violet, the most difficult color. You could be doing that too, okay? But maybe a little bit difficult to do that because each time you have to mix the color very well and change the value, okay? You can still do that, okay? I'm not saying that you shouldn't, just that you can do it, but probably easy to choose some hue which is already available without mixing it. So, so top has to be white, bottom has to be black, and one of the 7 has to be pure hue. Okay, so if you are just looking at this, which one? I know this is not right. This one looks a little bit too dark here, right? But it doesn't look like too dark on my naked eye. It's all this. Which one looks like a pure hue? It's hard to tell, huh? Is this pure hue? Is this pure hue? Is this pure hue? All of them has to be pure hue on any value scale. Let's look at this one. Which one is a pure hue? This one? Which one? Yellow. This is a white. Which one is pure hue? And how about, it's difficult on the screen, right? This is blue. This is violet. Can you see well? I guess it's difficult to see on the screen, huh? Do you know which one is pure hue of violet? It's difficult. It's actually this one. It's a pure hue. Okay. So on your color value scale, you have to include white and black. But one of those 5 has to be pure hue. Okay. This case, the red, pure hue is exactly in the middle because red may not be the red is not super dark like violet, and it's not really light as yellow. Okay. So was blue. Blue is not super dark. It's not super light. It's darker hue. I mean, that relatively darker, but it's not as dark as violet. Green and orange are probably a little bit lighter than red and blue. Okay, but you can see yellow is the lightest hue among those 12 hues, right? So it makes sense to have the pure hue somewhere in the middle for those blue or red. Maybe green can be a little bit lighter. You can make this one step higher. And yellow should be, pure yellow should be higher than these guys, okay? You could have this one on right underneath of white, but I rather have you to have a tint of white. So I'm making this one to be the 1, 2, 3, the third from top. My requirement is no matter where you have your hue, pure hue, you have to have one pure hue among the set of 7. Okay, so let's just do the demonstration here. Okay, so I'm gonna go like this, so which is easier for you guys to see. So this value scale, all you need is one hue plus black and white. Okay, you don't need any other colors. You need white, black, and red for this. Value scale, all you need is white and black and one hue. You don't need any more than that. So one has to be white, means even though paper is pretty much white, you have to paint white on one end, okay? Yeah, that's one side is white and the other side is black. Too much water. Don't paint on illustration board. You cannot change. You cannot miss. You make mistake and you cannot erase it. And don't paint on drawing pad. That's too thin. Don't paint on sketch pad. That's too thin. You need a little bit of a heavy paper for doing these activities, okay? It's a little bit frustrating. Paper is not primed, means there's some absorption. It's just paint sinks into the paper. So when you're painting for the first time, it's always you feel like it's not really standing out like a case of primed canvas, okay? So, we are painting on Bristol. Anything you do is on Bristol now. Okay, so let's paint the red, and this time maybe red can be in the middle. So you already, I'm already doing this as one of the boxes should be pure hue, right? So I'm putting a pure hue in the middle. So what shall I do to this and to this? I have black, I have white here. What am I supposed to be doing here to make a value scale? What shall I do? Shall I start with this side? What shall I do to this side? I'm making a 2 tints here, right? Adding white is tint, So having a white, adding red, you're making kind of a pink color. One is more like a darker pink, one is lighter pink. So here can be more portion of red added to the white, so become lighter. Okay, and next one, you should be adding more portion of white to this one. Wow, it's a lot of reflection. Wow. Okay, so I am transitioning to white from pure red. So I'm gonna do transitioning to black from pure red. So that means you're adding black to the pure red. Again, each time you think about what to start with the lighter, adding darker to it. That saves more paint and saves more time. And more black portion to next shade. You are making darker brown. Okay, so if I do very quickly, can you see well? Okay, so you are making this gradation from white to black with 7 different value of red, one including one pure hue. Let's do another one. Say this time I'm gonna try yellow. Okay, yellow may be trickier, but I'm gonna try. Okay, and black and white. Again, you need only one hue. Okay. One side is white. One side is black. Okay. Now, I can put yellow anywhere, pure yellow anywhere. Those 5 has to be all tint or shade or pure hue of yellow. This time, I'm putting pure yellow not to the middle. I used to do that, but then I changed my mind. I think my pure hue should be a little bit higher, a little bit closer to white, because otherwise this area become difficult. Okay, so I'm gonna put this pure yellow, not exactly in the middle. I'm gonna put a little bit closer to yellow, either white. Thinking about yellow, pure yellow is already light, not as dark as red. Okay. Now, making here, it'll be tint of yellow. Means adding white to yellow. It's already dark. I have to have more yellow. I mean more white. Okay. I may have to make this even more white here. Looks like it's a little bit too close to the original yellow. Okay, and then I'm gonna make 3 different shades of yellow here by differentiating the amount of black added to it. So here can be very small amount of black added to yellow. When you are painting this shade of yellow, you may find this is not called yellow. You may find, oh, this looks like a yellow, looks like a green sometimes, or maybe olive green. Olive green is almost like a shade of yellow. Okay, it doesn't show well in from the video, but this one looks like it's much more like close to green in a way. In the old days, there was no green color paint. People are mixing black to yellow paint to make something similar to green. So when you see the very old painting, like from Renaissance time or earlier than Renaissance time, you see a lot of paint of a tree, but tree is not really having a green color. Green is made as darker version of yellow. Okay, so when yellow is darker, it typically look like a green. Okay, I still think it's better way to paint trees rather than using green paint. I hate using green paint on drawing a painting tree. It doesn't make sense to me at all because somehow about the green paint is so unnatural to me. So, but that's a separate subject. So I'm adding a little bit more black to make that yellow shade of yellow darker. The first shade of yellow. Okay, so next one is more black, but not black. More portion of black to yellow, but don't make too similar to black. Has to be slightly lighter. Okay, so in my quick demo, I created this two sets of value scale. You can see this one can be lighter, a little bit closer to white. Looks like this is too much differences here, right? And this looks a little bit too similar. Okay, on my naked eye, this is not that bad here, but I can see this can be a little bit darker. Okay, so typically you have to paint twice rather than only once to make that flat application of paint. I have a lot of brush marks here for the first application of that paint. So idea is you choose two hues to make a value scale of 7, which includes white, black, and pure hue. That's the assignment. Okay.